Hi everybody, it is Diana and I want to talk about a tip today that you can use to cope with all kinds of things, whether it's an emotion, an urge, an addiction, whatever it is. This skill can be applied to cope with it. And it's a great one because it's simple, but it's really powerful. So I want to get into that a little bit today. If you've already subscribed to my channel, thank you. And if you haven't, please subscribe and turn on the notifications, the little bell, so you can get notified when new videos come out. I have a lot of new videos that are coming out over the next couple weeks. I am all settled in Nicaragua for the next little while, so I have lots of space and great spots to shoot videos from and lots of cool content coming out. So make sure you subscribe. So today I want to talk about one of the skills that I use. So I adapt it depending on who I'm working with and what we're working on, right? So there's so many reasons why you would need a coping skill. Everyone needs them to some degree. Like we all have anger, we all have frustration, we all have stress, we all have stuff that gets us worked up and we need to kind of cope with it. And sometimes we need more coping skills than in other times in our lives and with certain issues. So if you have an anger issue, this can help. If you struggle with maybe overeating or eating to kind of mask emotion or mask pain, this can help. If you have an addiction, this can help. I work a lot with porn and sex addiction, so this is one of the things that we use to kind of stop and just take a minute and be able to manage that urge and work through that. So that is what I want to talk about today. Sometimes I refer to this as the stop skill, but I just posted this on Instagram and I kind of reworked it a little bit because I kind of like more of the soft pause, because sometimes we just need to stop for a second and pause. So however you want to think about it in your head, you can think stop and like alert yourself, okay, I need to stop, I need to pause, I need to step back here. So how aware are you of when you need to do that? So think of your problem. When your problem arises, how aware are you of it? So do you automatically go into that thing? Like you react and you get mad and you yell, or you react and you act on the urge, whatever it is. How aware how aware are you of that cycle? So that's the first thing, that we kind of need to be aware of that so we can know how to interrupt that and when to interrupt that. And I keep getting distracted by this sunset because I'm sitting outside and the sunset is really beautiful. So I'll scan over there and show you guys that in a second because it's amazing. So when we have an urge or an emotion come up, we really need to stop. We need to step back. We need to reevaluate. We need to process. We need to do something after we stop. So we stop, we step back. Then we need to do something in this space to kind of cope or reevaluate or do something to calm us down. And then when we're ready, we can step back into the situation. So that looks differently for different people. So sometimes when people stop and they step back, that's when I have them listen to a meditation tape or a mindfulness tape. Maybe that's where I have them do a breathing exercise. Maybe that's where they maybe look through pictures to kind of calm them down. Maybe they just needed to take a second, breathe, and then they can return to the situation. Sometimes I have clients do a worksheet in that time to process an emotion or process what's going on, and then they can step back in. Sometimes I have them message me when they're in that space and that kind of really overwhelmed space. They've stopped, they've recognized they need to take a second, they remove themselves, and then they breathe, they cope, they try to like bring themselves down a little bit, and then they message me and say, hey, this is what I'm trying, this is where I'm at. Maybe they'll kind of say, this is sort of how I'm feeling in a couple words, and this is what skill I'm trying, and then this is how it worked, and this is what I'm gonna do next. So that's a really good space that we can stop and we can cope, we can reevaluate, and then we can step back in. So when I posted this on Instagram, I got some questions about if this works for other things, like if this works for self-harm urges, if this works for suicidal ideation, that kind of thing. And yes, it does. It definitely does. But those things are a little bit more intense and there's more on the line, especially with suicidal thoughts, right? So when you step back and you evaluate and you think through kind of what's going on and where you're at, if you're having any kind of serious self-harm urges, if you have a plan to hurt yourself, if those are more serious, then you need to seek help immediately in that space, right? But a lot of people struggle with self-harm thoughts and suicidal thoughts. And I have a couple of videos coming out on those things because those are it's so serious, but also so prevalent. And it's not talked about enough in a way that's really helpful. So I have more coming out on that. So if that's something you struggle with, keep an eye out for that because there's more coming on that. But basically, this is a skill that reminds you to stop, step back, do something, whether that's just breathing, whether that's maybe calling someone, do something and then step back in. So one of the ways that I write that out, now my iPad's locking me out, there we go, is pause, breathe, repair, and then proceed, right? So that's reminding us to pause. I need to take a second. I need to step back. I need to breathe. I need to do whatever repair is needed, which is maybe inside myself, maybe something that I need to kind of heal a little bit, help myself a little bit, and then I can proceed back into the moment. Sometimes I create something like this for clients and they have it on their phone so they can remember, okay, yeah, this is what I need to do. I'll also put on the screen another version of this that I use, which is stop, take a breath, take a moment, take a second to reevaluate, figure out what you really need, do something, do what you really need, right? Again, that can look like, different things for different people, and then you proceed. So, right? So it's the same thing, but just different ways of looking at it. So test that out, see what you think. If you want these handouts, you can always message me, like always, and I'll send you those. So let me know if you want these or if you want kind of the little handouts to keep on your phone to remind you to practice this. So there you go. That's the stop skill, the pause skill, the reset skill. It's really helpful, really, really helpful. So yeah, I'm gonna show you the sunset before it goes away so you can enjoy it as well. Pan over there. So this is a nice time to stop, pause, breathe, right? So thank you guys for watching this, and again, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Have a great day, guys.